Arvo Pärt, The Symphonies, ECM New Series, NFM Rockwell Philharmonic, Tonu Kaljuste. Arvo Pärt is one of the most widely performed living composers, revered worldwide for his luminous choral works and his unmistakable tintinnabuli style that has become a spiritual and aesthetic signature since the mid-1970s. Yet the symphony, that most traditional and often monumental of genres, is not the form with which Pärt is most closely associated. This new ECM release, bringing together for the first time all four of Pärt's symphonies, presents a fascinating journey across 45 years of his creative life, from student experiments in serialism to meditative late works steeped in sacred reflection. Conductor Tonu Kaljuste, a trusted interpreter of Pärt's music, approaches the symphonies as if they were movements of a single grand symphony. Heard chronologically, they chart not only the composer's stylistic evolution, but also his spiritual trajectory, from youthful avant-garde explorations through silence and crisis to confession and prayer. Symphony No. 1, Polyphonic, 1963. Written while Pärt was still a student of Heino Eller, the first symphony is firmly rooted in the serialist world of the early 1960s. Its two movements, canon and prelude and fugue, cloak 12-tone techniques in Baroque forms. The result is a curious hybrid: noisy, angular textures, aleatoric gestures, pizzicato swagger, and an undercurrent of Shostakovich-like drama. Some listeners may hear only fragmentation. Others may detect the seeds of Pärt's later clarity in its insistence on structure. Kaljuste and the NFM Rockwell Philharmonic play it with refinement, avoiding bombast and revealing expressive underpinnings that earlier performances sometimes overlooked. Symphony No. 2, 1966. At barely 10 minutes in 3 movements, the second symphony is brief yet strikingly concise. Pärt himself called it a collage symphony, and indeed its patchwork of aleatoric textures, sudden consonances, and dry pizzicato contrasts sharply with an almost anti-heroic quotation from Tchaikovsky's Album for the Young. This bizarre intrusion, both desperate and ironic, anticipates the startling use of Bach in Credo 2 years later. Critics have described the work as both a cul-de-sac and a revelation, proof that Pärt was reaching the limits of avant-garde experiment, and hinting that a new path was necessary. Kaljuste's measured approach emphasizes the long-range dramatic arc over the local eccentricities, making the symphony more coherent than it sometimes seems. Symphony No. 3, 1971. The third symphony belongs to a crucial transitional period. After Credo, 1968, Pärt entered years of near silence, during which he studied medieval and Renaissance sacred music and embraced the Russian Orthodox faith. This symphony, written just before his rebirth, looks backward for inspiration. Gregorian chant, open intervals, and Renaissance polyphony emerge as building blocks. The language is more tonal, the textures more transparent, and the dramatic gestures tempered by a new sense of stillness. Yet this is still a work of searching, not a rival, a bridge between the chaos of his serial past and the serenity of tintinnabuli to come. Historically fascinating, the third is not as distinctive as later masterpieces, but Kaljuste balances its disparate elements convincingly, allowing its moments of luminous beauty to shine through. Symphony No. 4, Los Angeles, 2008. 37 years later, Pärt returned to the symphony with a work dedicated not to a city, but to the canon of the Guardian Angel. Scored for strings, harp, timpani, and percussion, the fourth is instantly recognizable as late Pärt. Sparse textures, bell-like clarity, music shaped as much by silence as by sound. Its 3 movements are rooted in Orthodox prayer, penitence, and suffering, their vocal character evident even without text. Listeners expecting a grand, climactic symphony may be surprised. This is intimate, confessional music, a one-to-one communication rather than public proclamation. For some, its circuitous inwardness feels uneasy, even unresolved. For others, it is a deeply moving testament of faith. Kaljuste shapes its architectural proportions with poise, and the NFM Rockwell Philharmonic renders the fragile textures with luminous delicacy. The recording and its place. The importance of this ECM set lies not only in the performances, excellent though they are, but in the very act of collecting all 4 symphonies in one place. Previous recordings scattered them across different labels. Nime Järvi's vibrant bis accounts of the first 3, Esa-Pekka Salonen's premiere of the 4th. Here, with composer, conductor, and label in close association, the symphonies are presented as a single narrative, a biographical arc told through orchestral sound. Are they great symphonies in the classical sense, like Beethoven's or Shostakovich's? Perhaps not. Pärt never used the symphony as a monumental statement in that tradition. Rather, each symphony is a world unto itself, pointing in a different direction. Taken together, they reveal the struggles, dead ends, and breakthroughs of a composer who ultimately transformed the language of contemporary music. Conclusion. Arvo Pärt, The Symphonies is not an easy listen, especially for those who know only the serene sound world of Tabula Rasa, Fratres, or the Stabat Mater. The early works are abrasive, restless, at times perplexing. But to hear them alongside the fourth is to trace an extraordinary journey, from serialist experiment right through collage and chant to confession and prayer. It is a journey that mirrors not only Pärt's artistic development, but also his spiritual one. This disc is therefore both essential and challenging. For the devoted Pärt admirer, it is a revelation, though not always a comfortable one. For newcomers, it offers a compressed history of a singular musical voice. And for the curious listener willing to suspend expectations, it provides a rare opportunity to witness a great composer becoming himself. Rating: 9.7 out of 10. If you'd like to purchase this CD, you'll find the link in the description. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on new videos and reviews. Have a great day!